Yep, it's recording. It's recording the entire screen. I'm not choosing a single window to record, so it's recording the entire desktop. And let's go ahead and synchronize the two. I'm just about to close the screen, minimize the browser. 3, 2, 1, click. And 3, 2, 1, restore the size, click. So that way, I can synchronize the event on the screen with the actual audio streams. But I have to look for that first. And let's see, we're about 4 minutes into the recording of the audio part, so that way I can also have some idea of how to do it. I think next time what I need to do is to write down on the screen that how many minutes we're into the audio stream. That way, when I watch the video clip, I automatically know where in the audio stream I need to get started. Okay, basically a software version of the clicker board. That's it. Write an applet for that. Clicker board applet. All right. So now that we have all this stuff set up, we'll go ahead and start with better change the name of this one. So the final exam is scheduled on the 14th, which is next Friday, from 8 to 10 o'clock. So we'll all come back here from 8 to 10 o'clock, and we'll go to the lab. So in other words, we'll be taking the final exam online with all the same rules as usual. Okay, open web, open Google, open web notes, and stuff like that. No live communication during the test. And that's pretty much the only limitation of what you can and cannot do. And I'll move this one over here because otherwise you'll pick up the scratching of the mouse, on my desktop. It's an independent recorder, so I'm trying something new. And I'm also recording the entire screen, so this time we'll have a screen recording, unless I make some stupid mistake somewhere, which is entirely possible. So right now you can see that the final exam for Spring 10 for this class is already scheduled on next Friday, the 14th, from 8 to 10 o'clock. So let's hope that no one forgets to come to the final exam, or some people may decide, I have enough points to pass the class already, so I don't want to go to the final exam. I have not encountered people like that in the past, but there's always the first one. So what we'll do today is to look at the practice final exam. But this is one, and there's another one down here. And some people have already played with the practice final exam already. And we can start with this one. Okay, we'll start with the practice final exam at the bottom of the screen, and then we go back to the one that I just prepared last night. So this way you have more exposure to the kind of question that you can expect on next Friday. Are there any questions before we continue with the practice exams? No. It'll be about 4 or 5, so when you combine these two practice exams, they will give you about the same number of questions, you will see. And the type of questions are about the same that you have seen all along in this class. So you can probably schedule okay, it's going to take me this much time to answer this question. The only part that is unpredictable would be the pre and post condition type, because those depend on whether you understand the concepts. The other ones for tracing, it's nothing more than just doing what the computer is supposed to do on a line-by-line basis. So those are easier to keep track of. Okay. So we'll go for the first practice final first, which is from last semester, but it's good enough. I mean, it's still a good test to to test on. So we have about the same thing. Right-click and download this file. Sheet 1 is the pseudocode. Sheet 2 is the trace. You need to rely on the precondition to trace the code. That usually means that you have an array of some kind. Be sure to observe all the conventions that we use in the class. When you're done, save the file and upload it to this interface. So pretty much, the usual stuff that we have seen so far. And this doesn't work. I have to actually click it and then select save. And I will save it to today's folder. So that way, when you download the zip file for today, you also get the solution of this particular question. And then we open it using OpenOffice. Has anyone tried to use Microsoft Office to open the OpenOffice documents in the lab in the past exams? Did that work okay? That plugin turned out to be a product of Sun Microsystems. It's not Microsoft doing it. It's actually Sun doing it. Yeah.
Why doesn't Moodle work with Internet Explorer anymore?
You mean for the authentication?
Yeah.
It's because of Internet Explorer being not so smart. Okay, it's not because of Moodle. It's because of Internet Explorer has a feature called I think it's called Smart Scan or something like that. It's trying to automatically determine before you go to a certain website whether that website is hostile or not.
Right.
Okay, and somehow that mechanism interfered with Moodle, or if you ask it and say, okay, is this website hostile? It will say that our Moodle website is not hostile, which is the right answer. However, it still interferes with the operation of cookies in Internet Explorer 8, IE8. So what you can do if you want to fix that, you have to turn on compatibility mode first. So you have to go to IE8, turn on the compatibility mode, and then turn off the Smart Scan feature. Close Internet Explorer 8, come back in again, go to Moodle, and that should let you authenticate to Moodle. And then after that, you can turn off the you can turn the Smart Scan feature back on again. And for some reason, once you get into Moodle once, the quote-unquote setting is latched. So from that point on, you should be able to use Moodle. It's strange, but I think kind of.
Like I just can't put my password in.
You
I
can't
put my name and password in. And I click sign in.
Yeah, I know.
Deletes it.
Delete what?
It just basically refreshes back to the same page.
Yeah, it's because it could not set the cookies. It's because it's because the browser. Okay, it could be one of the two reasons. I cannot, I have not tested it. It's either the cookie is sent to your browser from the server, but your browser decides not to store the cookie on the client side, or it is stored on the client side, but for some reason it refuses to send it back to the server. But in the end, what happens is the server gives you a cookie, it didn't get it back. So if the server cannot get the cookie back, it cannot associate your current transmission to be associated with a session, and therefore it's as if you have not entered anything. You can type in the wrong password, it would not even complain that it's the wrong password, which is a good indication. Yeah, it just goes back to the blank page, right? Yeah, so I don't know why it is doing that, but that's basically what it was. You can fix the problem, it's just a little bit troublesome to fix it. Alright, so now we have the usual stuff. This is sheet 1. Sheet 1 is the code of this algorithm. And you can see that I don't even bother with the line numbers anymore. You can just delete this column. If you see something like this, you can delete that column. And here we have a node definition or record definition that is called a node. It has two members. One member is called V and the other member is called N. The old